at some point you gotta go do it. We all have our share in it, and it takes us making the plays out there.
Always want Christian out there. What he brings to the run game, also what he brings to the pass game. So,
hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another episode of Shooting for the Stars podcast with y'all's one and only host, Cameron Williams. And NFL. It was an offensive heavy attack this week, and I'm gonna be in today's episode. I'm gonna be giving y'all my 5 biggest takeaways from yesterday's NFL. We know it's technically week 5's not over yet. It's gonna conclude tonight, as we all know, with the Kansas City Chiefs and the New Orleans Saints going at it tonight. That's gonna be a thriller right there. We're gonna see if New Orleans can knock off Kansas City and get them up to 4-1 instead of 5-0. Lord, no, I would love to see it. But okay, let me get into these biggest takeaways, and these are just my biggest. I'm not saying who the best teams. I'm not giving y'all power rankings yet or my opinion on who the best team is. This is just specifically my takeaways from this week, from this past week 5, and I'm just gonna get into it right now. First, number one, let's go ahead and get into the Atlanta Falcons. Kirk Cousins, boy, this was Thursday night, and I'm not gonna lie, usually the NFL's been getting a lot of flack for the goofy Thursday night games recently, but I will have to say this past Thursday night was one of the best Thursday night football games we had in a long time. If I have to say so myself, okay. So let me get in. Kirk Cousins, okay, went 42 for 58, had completed 72.4% of his passes, broke Matt Ryan's franchise record the same night Matt Ryan was getting inducted into the Atlanta Falcons Hall of Fame on Thursday night with 509 passing yards. Kirk Cousins had 4 touchdown passes, threw 1 INT, and had 114.8 passer rating. Okay, and I want to get into this right now as y'all getting ready to on the screen. Kirk Cousins was just dotting it up. All over the field. He had whatever he want over the middle of the field. But first, let me just say one thing about Tampa Bay. They should really be thanking Tampa Bay, because let me tell y'all something. Out of Kirk Cousins' 58 passing attempts, he completed 42 passes out of 58. Out of his 58 passing attempts, 37 were open targets. Yeah, open, just wide. Guys just wide open. Drake London sitting in the middle of the field, wide open. Bijan Robinson wide in the flat. Okay, Kyle Pitts, running a crossing route, but nobody's following him. Nobody's even in the distance. Everything's just open. And so my hat goes out to Tampa Bay for even being able to find themselves to somehow be in it towards the end of the game, because that was definitely Tampa Bay's game to win. But Todd Bowles, like I said, and I've said this many times, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, they're a team that can be really scary. No doubt about it. This is a team with a lot of talent on it, for sure. Make no mistake about that. I believe in Baker Mayfield. He's revamped his career. I understand all that. But I just do not trust Todd Bowles as the head coach. I just feel like his defense is just always, a lot of holes in that defense. And anytime I was wondering, why is there no pressure coming towards Kirk Cousins? You can't let Kirk Cousins sit back there. He's a veteran. He lives in the pocket. You can't let him sit up there and just dot you up and slice your defense open all day like that. Drake London had one phenomenal game, had 12 receptions for 154 receiving yards, had 1 touchdown, okay? Darnell Mooney, 9 receptions for about 105 receiving yards. The Falcons had five pass catchers with 60 or more receiving yards. 2 guys in Drake London and Darnell Mooney. They had both 100+ receiving yards. Talk to me. And Atlanta, they needed this game, especially bouncing out from last week. And because the defense bailed them out against New Orleans. We all know that. Kirk Cousins, they had that pick 6 to bat it up from Derek Carr, and Kirk Cousins didn't throw not a single touchdown pass a week ago. It didn't look good at all. The Falcons got bailed out by their defense and by their kicker, Chris Ducare, if I'm saying his name right. Chris Ducare, I believe I'm saying his name right. But I'll fact check that. But yeah, the Falcons got bailed out. All they had to do, Kirk Cousins had to do last week against New Orleans was just drop the ball down the field. I don't think he completed much of a pass. Try to throw it towards the sidelines as much as possible. See if you can get a PI, which he did to Darnell Mooney. The refs move the ball for you. All you have to do is kick the field goal. This week, we seen prime Kirk Cousins, and I feel like the owners, they really, the Blank family, they really got their money's worth. They really seen what they put their money into last Thursday's night game. Make no mistake about that. Second, my biggest takeaway from week 5 is the Minnesota Vikings, I will say. And now anybody that's waiting for Minnesota, for Sam Darnold to, come back to earth, you definitely got it. You definitely got it yesterday, okay, across the pond in London. I'll tell you that right now. One thing I will say about Sam Darnold, he did not throw a single touchdown pass yesterday. Matter of fact, Sam Darnold, 14 for 31, 45.2. He completed 45% of his passes, had 179 passing yards. didn't throw a touchdown pass, like I said, had 1 interception, had a season low so far, a 50.3 QBR rating. Absolutely horrible. And he's not the takeaway, but in the mannerism of how the Vikings won, that's more so of the takeaway. Y'all feel me? Because one thing about, we all here got to talk about Brian Flores, former head coach for the Miami Dolphins. Everybody talked about him, right? Everybody said, you shouldn't talk to it like that. You're overrated. You were an overrated head coach and all that stuff. Well, y'all, I'm not going to lie to you. They picked off Aaron Rodgers 3 times. Aaron Rodgers had 2 touchdowns and 3 interceptions. That Vikings defense is for real. I love their package. You really don't know what those did. It kind of almost reminds me of another version of what the Rex Ryan defense from 2008, 2010 used to be when he was with the Jets. Remember that Rex Ryan defense? To this day, guys, coaches still can't tell you where those blitzes were coming from. When the Minnesota Vikings will be able to get pressure, and they really made Aaron Rodgers. We know Aaron Rodgers is a quarterback that's predicated on getting the ball out of his hands at a fast manner anyway. But he really had to time it up and really get the ball out. We know with big time, with great speed and great pace yesterday, and through back shoulder throws and quick throws that are really not really, they're not really in sync with the offense. And why? And what that does is you don't have Devontae Adams there. So, he's throwing back shoulder guys, and he's forced to have to throw it quick so he doesn't get hit. And what that does is when you don't have chemistry with your guys, it really messes up the rhythm. And it was a close game. Jets really kept them close because of their defense. But as far as the Vikings, they really showed that even if our offense is not on, even if Sam Darnold is not having, the best game, so what, right? If he's not playing well up to par, that's fine. Because we have a defense he can rely on and fall back on. Justin Jefferson has 6 receptions for 92 yards. He's currently third in the league in receiving yards. He's absolutely tearing it up right now behind Jamar Chase and Nico Collins. Like I said, but the Vikings, this is a team right here. This is a team we're going to be talking about down the line. Seriously. No, not Sam Darnold's best game, but as far as an overall team collective group and how they won, I love how they played yesterday. They took Aaron Rodgers out the game. They made him look subpar, and now they're 5-0 team. Now I'm getting into Cincinnati. Okay, now let's get into Cincinnati and the Baltimore Ravens. Well, really the Baltimore Ravens, because that's gonna be my biggest takeaway. Okay. Want to let that be stated, okay? Now, number 3, the Baltimore Ravens. The Baltimore Ravens, now they're officially 3-2. Yesterday, obviously, marked probably the best game, in my opinion, between those two teams. It was an overtime thriller in which the Baltimore Ravens defeated the Cincinnati Bengals 41-38 in overtime. And once again, like I was saying about the Atlanta Falcons and Tampa Bay Buccaneers game, how that was Tampa Bay's game to win, this was the Cincinnati Bengals game to win. First, let me just start off saying this. Joe Burrow, what are you doing? Joe Burrow, what are you doing? Like I said, well, the Cincinnati Bengals season, one thing I learned from my biggest takeaway from this game from both, I'm going to give both takeaways from both teams, okay? Even though Baltimore was definitely the most worthy team to talk about, the Cincinnati Bengals, when they answer the question, obviously, they're nowhere near no Super Bowl team this year. I'll be surprised if they're a playoff team. And I know this is I know this is their niche, and I know this is what they do. They have a tendency for starting off the season slow and all that. But God dog it, if you let this team come up in your house in week 5 and steal this meaningful game from y'all know how bad y'all needed this game. Don't get me wrong, Baltimore needed this game too. Make no mistake about that. Baltimore needed this game, but no team needed it more than Cincinnati. You find yourselves you're down 1-4. You're down 1-4 already. Y'all barely won the other week. Y'all needed this game. And don't get me wrong, this is a back and forth game. Both quarterbacks look like MVPs. Make no mistake about that. Okay, Joe Burrow absolutely Joe Burrow probably arguably played the game of his career. Make no mistake about that. Joe Burrow went for completed 30 out of 39 of his passes, had completed 76% of his passes, had 392 passing yards, threw 5 touchdown passes, had 1 interception, and a quarterback passer rating of 137. Okay, and now as far as for Lamar Jackson, he looked like an MVP in his own right. Okay, it wasn't much. Wasn't much of Derrick Henry. He was bottled up for the most part of this game until the last play, which I'm going to be getting to. Lamar Jackson had completed 26 out of 42 of his passes. Had a 61.9 completion percentage. Had 348 passing yards, threw 4 touchdown passes, 120 quarterback passer rating, and had 55 rushing yards. Like I said, Lamar Jackson. And one thing I will say is, y'all gonna see on screen, he made pass after pass. The Ravens, keep in mind, in the fourth quarter, with about 8 minutes, really entering the fourth quarter, Ravens found themselves down 10 points, 38-28. They found themselves down 10. Lamar Jackson led a remarkable drive because the Bengals did and one thing I will give credit to Zach Taylor and company, okay? I will give this to them. The Bengals entered this game with the game plan, to take out Derrick Henry. That was their game plan. You could tell by how they came in. They had Derrick Henry bottled up for the most part of this game. I will say that. But what the Ravens proved is this year is that, and which I believe is going to make them a better team, because we know we're all on this bandwagon with the Ravens. It's always a point in time when the Ravens I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's the Lamar Jackson slander. I don't know what it is, okay? But what I do know is that, it's like when the Ravens lose, they're not good, they're overrated, Lamar Jackson. But when they win, it's okay, there they are. The Ravens actually are pretty good. The Ravens really are a Super Bowl contender. Y'all, we got to stay, it's either one or the other. And I'm sticking with mine. The Ravens are definitely a Super Bowl contender. Why? Because now they're deadly. They're deadly in the run game. Because now, okay, if you're going to sell out to stop Derrick Henry, Lamar Jackson is going to beat you over the top with his arm, which he's more than capable of doing now, okay? Made all kind of passes. Making passes rolling out to his right, throwing it across his body to Isaiah Likely to cut that lead down to 3. That was an MVP type of throw, and that's what you want to see, okay? Because if they didn't score right there, we'll be talking about a whole different story, all right? And then okay, he made Zay Flowers was everywhere. Zay Flowers, man, could not be stopped. Seriously, if you look at this, this young brother's going to be special. He's going to be really special. When I look at Zay Flowers, he had 7 receptions for 111 receiving yards. Didn't score a touchdown, but that's fine, though. I love the newly acquired tight end, who was filling in for Mark Andrews' place when he was injured. Okay, Charlie Kolar had 3 receptions for 64 receiving yards and had 1 touchdown. Isaiah Likely didn't do much, didn't have really no explosive plays. Besides that touchdown, that's explosive enough. Only had 3 catches for 13 receiving yards, but he had 2. But he accounted for 2 of Lamar Jackson's 4 touchdown passes. He had 2 of them suckers. Yeah, Isaiah Likely, the wide receiver and the tight end and the wide receiver's body. Love him. Todd Monken's doing a really good job of utilizing him and really getting the most out of all these weapons on this team. And one thing, as the deeper we get into the season, and the more they get comfortable, and Lamar Jackson gets more comfortable with those pass catches, and Derrick Henry gets more comfortable, lining up behind Lamar Jackson and figuring out, whether he wants to be in the shotgun, whether he wants to be in the, whatever. They're going to get more comfortable as time goes along. And that's what's going to make them more scared, because they can hurt. Now it's almost going to be like a pick your poison. Yesterday's game was a glimpse of how scary they're going to be in the future, because like I said, the Ravens are going to force teams to pick your poison. You want us to beat you through the air, or you want us to beat you through the ground. And keep in mind, us beating you through the ground is through 2 guys, through Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry. That's going to be scary. That's going to be scary. And as far as the Bengals, man, y'all threw this game away. Joe Dolph threw this game away. Any chance to spark up a little bit of some energy and to relight the confidence level and the morale in that team had to be with that win yesterday. Had to be, y'all. It had to be. Think about it. Y'all literally got Lamar Jackson where y'all went before overtime. Y'all got Lamar Jackson, in overtime. In overtime, Ravens started off with the ball, okay? Lamar Jackson fumbled it. You hit him for a fumble. You recovered it. And then what does Zach Taylor do? And this is what the biggest problem for me with Cincinnati is for Zach Taylor. This is why he could be in the hot seat for a head coach. Dude, you still got to get a first down. You don't want to make it easier for your field goal kicker to get, in field goal range? Come on now, man. You run 3 back-to-back run plays and then expect him to knock down and expect him like the 59-yard field goal. Like, that's just easy to do. And you give the ball right back to Baltimore. And now here comes Derrick Henry. Here's the punchline right here. And yeah, Derrick Henry, he didn't look the best. He didn't look the best started off the game, really throughout the whole game. But when it mattered and when it mattered most, the owners definitely got their, every bit of that $55 million they paid him. Just like with this one play right here. Derrick Henry came down, had a 54-yard run. That was all they needed to get them in field goal range, in suitable, more comfortable field goal range, and for them to go down there and kick the game-winning field goal to win it 41-38. And that's the Derrick Henry effect, a bell cow. You can't load up the box. A bell cow. He gets stronger the more the game goes along, because you're only going to get tired. That's what we've seen so much Derrick Henry in Tennessee. Even Derrick Henry's worst games. How many times have we seen throughout the course of Derrick Henry's amazing, phenomenal career? Okay, even on his worst game, when you're stopping him at the line, you're getting there in the backfield and you're wrapping him up and you're getting him between his legs early, stopping him in his tracks, making him lose 3-4 yards behind the line of scrimmage. When you see that, how many times do we see late in the fourth quarter or even in overtime, like we seen yesterday, where he just pops off for one big run? Why? Because the defense is tired from hitting this big behind all day. Believe it or not, scientifically, it takes more of a toll on the defenders from who has to hit that man versus the Derrick Henry, because he's only gonna get stronger as the game goes along. And as a defense, you get tired of hitting that big old son of a gun after a while, and all he needs is just one slippage or one slip up, and that was it. And I mean it for Cincinnati. Now they face 1-5. Congratulations, Baltimore. Y'all are now 3-2. Now, this next one, my next big takeaway. I know we're going to be surprised on this one. I know a lot of y'all going to be like, Cam, huh? Yes, I'm going to get into it. The Denver Broncos. Yes, the Denver Broncos. Nobody's talking about them like it, so nobody's talking about them that much, so let me go ahead and talk about it, okay? Let me bring it up. Let me talk about my eye, because I'm going to tell y'all something. If it's not this year, it's going to be next year. I'll stamp that. I'm telling y'all, the Denver Broncos, that game yesterday against Vegas, for those that watch it like I did, y'all know that game probably start early in the game. It was probably this close from getting ready to be from us having a whole different conversation, from getting ready to be an absolute runaway. Gardner Minshew opened up on the first drive, throwing a nice deep pass to Brock Bowers. All he did really just threw it up there, and Brock Bowers just went up, got it, took it all the way to the house. The Denver Broncos had a real hard time opening up the game, trying to, of course, like we've seen, trying to find some rhythm and find some offensive stability to move the ball. We've seen a lot of 3-and-outs, and I'm gonna tell you right now, what ended up really saving Denver was, we all know, Gardner right here, 3rd and goal. They look like they're getting ready to score again. They look like they're getting ready to punch in another 7 on Denver. As y'all can see, Gardner Minshew rolling out to his left. He's a right-handed quarterback rolling out to his left. Like I tell quarterbacks all the time, if you're not mastering that and if you're not practicing that you have to be careful where you place that ball, because that is extremely hard to do for a quarterback if you're left-handed, rolling to your right, trying to make a throw with your left hand, or vice versa. Like I just said with Gardner Minshew, a right-handed quarterback rolling out to his left, because you have to adjust your body. And right here, he missed it right there. Had a wide open Brock Bowers, but mistimed it, threw it, went right behind him. And who was there to pick it up? It was Pat Surtain who was there to pick it up. It was PS2 who was there to pick it up and take it all the way to the crib for a 100-yard pick six. That actually marked 2 on pick sixes yesterday. So one, Seattle had 1 too. Okay, the 90-year-old there. But yeah, that right there. And from that point on in that game, the game was never the same. Vegas was never the same. And granted, I will say that no Devontae Adams this game. Maybe that could have had, if we all want to see the PS2 Devontae Adams matchup, maybe that could have had some effect. But like I said, the Raiders, they completely took their foot off the gas, and when I want to look at and what Denver did with it after, still not explosive offense, still not, ripping and gunning. But I want to get the credit has to go to this Denver's defense. Denver would not be 3-2 right now if it was not for that defense. Seriously, I know we all highlight guys like Pat Surtain, but some other names on that defense, some of the key critical names on that defense we need to be discussing. Cornerback Riley Moss. Seriously, he's been a dog on that defense. Jaquan McMillian in the slot. A guy who's come up and hit running backs, plays the press real nice. Okay, they have Baron Brown. They have guys who just make plays on that defense, and they're not getting talked about enough. Yeah, it's not big names, but it doesn't have to be. It's studs all over the place. And you got Malcolm Roach on the inside, DJ Jones. Okay, Zach Allen. Who has one of the highest get-off times at the edge rush position right now as we speak. This Denver team is a team that we really got to start looking at and really start taking more seriously. And another key indicator I want to get into with this game yesterday is we all seen Denver was up 20-10. Bo Nix, wasn't Bo Nix' fault. Aired the ball out nicely. Great play design by Sean Payton, getting the rookie wide receiver open, and Troy Franklin, and Bo Nix put it right there on the money. Just didn't end up hauling that ball in. Unfortunately, it was definitely points left off the board from this Denver team, no doubt about that. But then after, we've seen a heated, animated discussion between rookie quarterback Bo Nix and head coach Sean Payton, as y'all can see right here. And we hear a lot of stuff. What was the conversation said, what was said, and this, that, and the third. Look, y'all. Let me tell y'all right now. It's a love language, y'all. it's a love language, and but you got to be careful with this love language. You got to be real careful because it looked like Sean Payton was trying to say something to Bo, was trying to was getting on him about whatever happened on that play, and it really when Bo was just saying, hey man, I threw the ball out there, it wasn't my fault. Come on now, give me a break. I can't make him go down there and catch the ball. And honestly, I love to see this from a rookie quarterback because honestly, to me, all it shows is just that you got two guys who are hungry and who love to compete. That's all it shows. Two guys, and the only thing they want to do is win. That's all it shows. You got to respect Bo Nix for that. Seriously, you have to respect Bo for that because at least he's standing up for himself. At least he's acting like he has some heart. And yeah, I don't respect no player getting no coach face like that. You got to pipe down a little bit, Bo. But hey, I bet you Sean Payton likes that better than the fiasco what happened last year. Remember last year in Week 14 against Detroit when Sean Payton went up there and cut the veteran quarterback, Super Bowl winning champion quarterback Russell Wilson and dogged him out and cussed him out on live television, and Russell Wilson sat there like a dog and didn't say nothing. Didn't say nothing. Remember that? It just stood out there. This and that. I could have sworn I covered this topic. I'm not gonna get into it, but y'all remember that. How you don't defend up for yourself as a 12-year veteran at the time, a Super Bowl champion, a grown man, a father, a wife. Dude, and this rookie quarterback said, no, hold on now, Peyton. Hey, Peyton, you can't be talking to me like that now. Yeah, you can talk to me, but you ain't gonna sit over there and rustle me now. You ain't gonna do me like how you did that Russell Wilson dude. That's that little, and I love that. I love that marriage because at the end of the day, it's gonna make both guys better. Okay, it's because at the end of the day, Sean Payton doesn't see what's going on out of the field. Maybe Bo Nix seen something. Maybe it was something that Bo Nix, probably seen that he wanted to do differently that Sean Payton probably couldn't see, and we're just trying to it just led up to a animated discussion, which the media was gonna make it into, but make no if ands or buts about it. We all know that it was just tough love. That's all it is. Tough love. Two guys that love each other, that are competing at a high level, that they only have the same thing in common, and that's just to win and win only. Okay, and let's knock that stuff out the way right now. That wasn't nothing. That wasn't no Bo Nix going off on Peyton or Peyton going off on him. It was just they're trying to calm themselves down. And they're both heated in the moment. Both want to win. And keep in mind though, it was a brutal game. That Denver game yesterday was brutal. It was a very brutal game for Denver. It was not pretty at all until late in the third quarter. Okay, but they're gonna face off against better teams. They got the Chargers and Jim Harbaugh this week. They're gonna face off against better teams for sure. So we're gonna see how they look against higher and better competition. Okay, but I do love that. We know Sean Payton's a great leader, and I see the culture that he's building. And PS2, man, like I said, best cornerback in the game. Denver are arguably top 3 defense in the game. They're keeping them in games. Shout out to Vance Joseph, that defensive coordinator over there too. Okay, make no mistake about that. Next up, last but not least, my last takeaway, I want to get into the Houston Texans. Now, Houston Texans game right here. This is a game that could have been won by Buffalo if the coaching was just a little bit better. God dang, Sean McDermott, man, you gotta capitalize on these games, man. You can't throw no game like this away, Sean. Seriously. Before the game even went, before the game even went to overtime, Buffalo, instead of letting the game go into overtime, what did Buffalo do? Instead of just running the ball, letting it go to overtime, milking the clock, they ran 3 back-to-back pass plays. And one of them, I ain't gonna lie, should have been completed. Josh Allen, you got to put more on that third down play. You got to put more air on that ball to give Curtis Samuel a chance to run underneath it and at least do something with it if you're going to throw. But regardless of that, y'all had no timeouts and y'all are backed up against your 3-yard line. And y'all just run the ball and just take it to overtime. See where it goes. Josh Allen absolutely looked horrible. And yes, he was down a receiver in Khalil Shakir, who was a big-time receiver for them in this offense for sure. I understand all that. But Buffalo, man, the coaching has to be better. This Buffalo team is starting to look a lot different, not in a good way from what they looked to early in the season. I don't know what that's about, but all I know is that it needs to get fixed. It needs to get fixed quick because the AFC is no joke. And now you're getting ready. Now we're at the point of the year now where we're going to start seeing the best teams starting to rise, the best teams starting to really come to tuition now and really show who they are and what their intestinal fortitude is about. Make no mistake about that. Okay, so Buffalo, we got to be better. We got to be better with the management. We got to be better. We got to be more on the same page. Josh Allen 9 for 30. You threw 30 passes, only completed 9 of them. That's horrible. C.J. Stroud, I want to think Nico Collins right now, he went out mid-game. We hope he's okay and doing well. But as far as C.J. Stroud, man, not a CJ performance, but definitely a CJ performance that we can definitely respect. And make no mistake about that. Completed 28 out of 38 of his passes, had 331 passing yards, threw 1 touchdown pass, 1 INT. It's Stephon Diggs in his get-back game. I don't really count these as a get-back game because it should have been in Buffalo. ago. But, his game against his old team had 6 receptions, 82 receiving yards, and accounted for 13 yards per reception. Then scored a touchdown. Nico Collins had one big touchdown for about 55 yards from C.J. Stroud before going out. And the Texans right now, like I say, don't be ashamed from getting the 5-1. Make no mistake about from 4-1. Make no mistake about that. But one thing I do want to say though for Houston is just man, this team is gonna be scared. I mean, this team is gonna be scared. Like I said, they're still gelling together. They still got dealing with some injuries like a lot of teams are right now at this point. I see that Joe Mixon's still a little bit banged up. But nevertheless, we got to see what the issue is with Nico Collins. And man, Houston, they look like the legit team. I mean, seriously. I mean, you got Stephon Diggs, Nico Collins, Tank Dell. I mean, those guys obviously are passed and clinic. Top 5 offense right now throughout 5 weeks of play. I mean, seriously. I mean, C.J. Stroud too. He's currently right now as we stand, he's 3rd in passing behind Dak Prescott and Geno Smith. He right now currently through 5 weeks, he's already has 1,385 passing yards, 7 touchdowns, 3 interceptions, and so far has completed 68.9% of his passes. And then of course his receiver, who many people think is already his #1 receiver, Nico Collins, right now as we stand right now leads the league in receiving yards with 567 through 5 weeks in, and also has 3 touchdown receptions. So like I said, the Houston Texans offense all around. It's offense all around, and the defense definitely looks a lot better than what they did a year ago. I'm seeing the pressure. Derek Stingley looks a lot more calm. It looks a lot more like a savant veteran, like how we expected him to come out this year and play. And they're looking, like I said, they're making plays. They're making game-altering plays. And this one right here, yesterday game was definitely a game yesterday that definitely came up. I won't say came to them, but definitely was a game that they definitely worked hard for and definitely got. And I would say was favorite tilted towards them, especially when you make a call like that. Because again, Sean McDermott, you just run the ball. You go to overtime and you play it there and you play it there. But instead, you really didn't give yourself a chance to win. The Houston Texans only ran 1 play, and C.J. Stroud just dumped it off to the running back, got enough yards to get inside for Ken Fairbear's 58-yard field goal, I believe, and knocked it down to send the Texans to 4-1. With a 4-1 on the season, and they won 23-20. So, and that right there concludes it. Those are my top 5 takeaways. Those are my top 5 takeaways from these teams from Week 5. Y'all let me know what y'all want to hear next. And like I said, I'm gonna be bringing out a breakdown, a review after tonight's game with the Kansas City Chiefs and the New Orleans Saints. We all know that's gonna be a big time game tonight. I can't wait to see it. We're gonna see how this game's gonna play out. But as far as Week 5, y'all let me know who are y'all top teams. Who are some teams y'all believe is on so far as a real legitimate threat, and who could be a real legitimate threat come postseason time so far. I know it's early, but that's what makes the game so fun. NFL game, not the NBA. We don't have 82 games to play. We only get 17 games, 18 weeks, and only 7 teams go in each conference. So that's why it's always good to start predicting early. But y'all let me know what y'all want to hear. Guys, thank y'all so much. I've seen all the love and the recent love y'all been giving me. We are on the road to 1,000. We're on the road to 1,000 subscribers. We're trying to hit that mark by the end of the year. Y'all help me get there. Only way that can be done is through y'all. Y'all keep showing love and support. Y'all let me know what y'all want to hear next in the comment section down below. Y'all let me know if y'all agree or disagree with me on these takeaways right here and where I could have went wrong at, and y'all let me know why. And I will see y'all in the next episode on Shooting for the Stars podcast with y'all's one and only host, Cameron Williams.